Hey friends. Oh, I'm a little crooked. Let me see if I can fix this. My hair is crazy. It's just one of those days. All right, I'm so glad you're here. I thought today we could work on some rhinestoning, some bling stuff, and I'm going to show you what I'm working with. I made a tutorial a while ago featuring this tumbler. And I only told a few people about this, but I never actually finished it. Like, I did the tutorial, and then in the final pictures, I just showed this half of the cup because the other half I didn't finish. This is probably like 2 years ago. Like, it's been a while. So we're gonna work on finishing this up today, this back half of the tumbler. And then I really have just been putting it off because I've been like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take forever. I am going to start putting some rhinestones on my Stanley. I've had it for a long time now, and I actually think this is a fun way to kind of dress it up and change it without like getting a new one. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna take me several gazillion hours, probably like 10 hours to put all the rhinestones on there, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a facelift to, you know, make it feel new, but without actually buying a new one, because I'm trying to buy less stuff and have less stuff, both, you know, to save money and my sanity in terms of organization, as well as, you know, the environment and stuff like that. So I have different size rhinestones for both of these projects. We're gonna work on 2 different ones today. I might have to zoom in a little bit. I feel like this is like weirdly, just weird. Maybe that's better. And we'll kind of work on that. So I get a lot of questions about rhinestoning, and what I like about it is that there are a lot of people that, you know, teach this and do this and are incredibly, incredibly talented. I have a few live streams on the video or on the channel. I have a few videos. My rhinestone pen tutorial has been like getting so many views lately from like a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I think a year. So clearly people are trying to, you know, get into it, and I really like it because it's pretty like mindless. Like, I can just sit and do it, and it's like tactical and something to do, and it's not that hard. Like, you get better over time, and you get better like more and more, you like straighter lines, and your spacing and all of that gets better with practice. But like, ultimately, it's a pretty easy kind of craft to get into, and I think it's kind of fun. You can like do it while you're watching TV or like listening to a podcast, watching a movie, something like that. So that's why I really like it. I'm gonna check out the chat real quick. Hi, Karen. Oh, I've been thinking about you. That's so nice. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Debbie. So glad you're here. We're just working on some rhinestone cups, and it's gonna be fun. So one of the main questions people have is, what kind of glue do you use? And since I first started rhinestoning like 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of new glues have come to the market. So there's so many, you can't really go wrong. The main one that I use is Super Tight Fusion Tack. And if you go to my page, I don't know if I have it here. I'll try to link it later. But I have a bunch of recommendations on Amazon, and there's a lot of independent businesses that also sell the rhinestoning equipment. I usually use Super Tight Fusion Tack, but another popular one is Liquid Fusion. This heavy duty stuff. I don't know, I think there's like different color labels. So this is the one that I have. This one you will have to transfer to a different bottle. It doesn't look like I have one, but like one of the needle like nose glue applicator bottles is what you'll want, because the top of this is just, too much comes out. So you need to transfer it to something that is skinnier. So like the needle nose glue applicator bottles, again, I have those linked on my Amazon page. And then one I've been using is this Crystal Glaze. What I like about it is that it has like that a smaller top so I don't have to transfer it. This one does have a stronger smell though. Like it's not like non-toxic like the super tight one. So just beware if you know you're sensitive to smell. This smells like it's E6000. It probably is E6000 glue. I don't really know. Karen says she finally got her foot started using Bright Tone. That's so excited. Let me know what you've been making. If you're making cups or if you're doing other things. I have not made tumblers in a while, but I've been making a lot of like wood signs and painting and stuff like that, which I then seal with my Bright Tone. So it's been really fun. Okay. So then with rhinestones, you want to make sure you have a variety of sizes. The one thing that I'm going to have to do, I'm using for my Stanley, my black Stanley. I've got these black, it's called Black Unicorn. These are from Glitzy Creations. These are the 5mm, which is like an SS20. The bigger stones like take up more space. So that's like less stones, right? You're like literally placing every single one of them. So if you have a bigger stone, you're gonna be doing less. Does that make sense? But I only have this size when I really should have some smaller ones to fill in, because especially around like the Stanley logo. So I'm gonna have to I'll probably buy a bag of the 2mm, maybe the 3mm as well. I just don't have them, so I'm just gonna do the best that I can with that. This one, I made it so long ago, so I'm not 100% sure, but by looking at it, the main like honeycomb pattern is like an SS16, but then if you look inside, let me see if I can get my face out of the way. Like inside the leopard print, you can see different sizes. So I just have like a variety of sizes. These stones I got on Amazon. So basically I'm gonna have to fill in with just random size small black. This is vinyl on the black vinyl, and then blue in there. So you want a variety of sizes when it comes to your stones. You can buy like variety packs like this one on Amazon and through other places. I kind of like, you can just get like the teeny tiny ones, and then these last for a while, and you just kind of, where your stones don't line up perfectly, that's where you just fill in. So I like it. It's not that serious. Even if you don't feel like it's perfect, like from afar, like this has plenty of mistakes, but like it looks pretty great, like at a normal eye distance. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry too much about it. So you also are gonna want a wax pen. This one is the Crystal Katana. If you guys don't follow the Crystal Ninja on Instagram, she's awesome. And she's also really like a really nice person. I met her in real life in Vegas in September, and I highly recommend. So I would give her a follow. Crystal Katana, she has like glue recommendations. This is her wax pen. She's got like the trademark on it and stuff like that. So, because you're gonna need to pick up each stone and place it on your item. And then you're going to need a tool for that. So, okay, I think that's better. I'm a little crooked. Hopefully it's not so bad. I haven't made cups in a while. So, but I wanted to bring this one to work. It's literally just been sitting in my basement, not finished. And I was like, oh, this is like a cute little cup I can like either have when I'm waiting, you know, dropping off my kid at school, or at work. So I don't have to like use a disposable cup. This is a cute little size for coffee. So this one actually I base coated in the teal, a teal color. The CrystaLac Flip It Awesome, totally teal is what it is. And then I did a few coats of Bright Tone. It could have been Grand Finale. I think it was Bright Tone though, because I think it could have honestly been before Grand Finale existed. So that's how long I've been working on this cup. So I've got like a mix of sizes just like randomly in here. And I think I'm just gonna start with the black. So you can get a nice little tray to shake them out. I don't know where mine is. I was like digging for this rhinestone supply stuff this morning. I was like, where is it? And it was like in a random closet. So it took me a while to find it. So one thing you want to make sure, like, you don't want to use too much glue for a couple reasons. If you use too much glue, It can build up around your rhinestones. And you'll have a hard time getting them like to stick together, like close enough. Does that make sense? Like if there's glue, like globs of glue. I really wish I had more light over here. If I'm being honest, especially with these black stones, I feel like I can't see anything. It's probably helpful, especially if you don't have the best of eyes, to have some additional light. I feel like I can barely see what I'm doing. These are just solid black stones too, so there's like no reflection. I'm just literally placing each of these over the black vinyl. So I cut the vinyl. So I prep the tumbler like a normal tumbler, as if I was gonna like glitter it. And I then, like, I sanded it and I painted it with the Totally Teal, knowing I wanted to put these blue, do this color scheme. And if you have a base coat similar to your rhinestone, it's like the same with glitter, then it's like okay if there's a little space in between your rhinestones, because like now it doesn't have to really be perfect with this black because there's black vinyl behind it, so you really just can't tell if I have a little bit of a mess up, you know what I mean? So like this blue, like it's not exact color, but it's close enough that like the space in between any of the rhinestones is not noticeable, or honestly even a little bit enhanced. So like if you took even just like a regular stainless steel, like that silver stainless steel, and you put like, I don't know, pink rhinestones on it, in between each of the stones, that silver is gonna show through. So I like to have a base coat that matches. I do that for glitter as well. And rhinestones, so that's the one I just did. Okay, and it's not perfect. There's some vinyl hanging on over the edge, but you really can't tell. And once I fill in with the blue, like it's gonna look great. So I'm just gonna keep going with this black, I think. And okay, so I got on a tangent. So you wanna make sure that you're not using too much glue for multiple reasons. What I started saying, then got sidetracked, was if glue builds up like in between, you're not gonna be able to get your stones close enough together, and there's gonna be a gap, and the glue is gonna dry clear, so you'll be able to like, it just won't look as good. So you don't wanna use as much glue, so you just use like a little at a time. So like right now, I just glued half of that, half of the one side, and I'm gonna do my stones. I really wish I had my little rhinestone tray to make this easier, but here we are. I don't know where it is. I could 3D print another one, but that seems like a lot of effort. So we're just gonna do the best we can with what we have. And then you're just gonna individually place your stones on top of your glue. And again, we're not using a lot of glue because we wanna be able to get our stones close enough together. But also, the second piece of why you don't want to use too much glue is it takes longer to dry. So if you have wet glue and you're just going to put your stones on, they can fall if there's too much glue, because it's just taking too long to dry and gravity and all that stuff. So the amount of glue is kind of like twofold. And you can just get the hang of it. Like, it's okay. Like, if you use too much glue, then you're like, oh, like that was too much glue. Now I need to use less. You can always kind of wipe it away, but it's just something to consider as you're going through and adding your rhinestones. Some glues, oh, let me check the comments. Oh, I'm glad I'm not yes, he says I'm not the only one who with cups started forever ago. You should see my wall of cups that I just started and never finished. I really should do that. Finish them one of these days. Lori asks, is there a way to approximate how many stones to buy for different sizes of cups? Yes, and I'm sure people have that information. But maybe I can do some math for us, because you guys know how much I love math from my math teaching days. So maybe I can crunch some numbers, but generally the containers or bags of rhinestones have a certain amount of stones. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what that number is, but there's a standard number. It's I don't know, 1,600 or something like that. So 1,600 or so. I can't remember. Maybe somebody knows in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. And generally for a 20-ounce tumbler, and it depends on the stone size. So like I said earlier, if you're going to do a SS20, that's the biggest size stone. So they take up the most space on your cup. So overall you'll use less stones. If you're going to use a smaller stone, you're going to need more of them. So I would say I don't know that these 2 bags, this 2 bags is probably not going to be enough for my big Stanley, but they are the biggest size stone, so I'm kind of hoping. But I would say usually 2 bags of your main size, and then you want to just have a few either you can buy one little variety pack that I showed you earlier, like this, of the same color, or you can get some of the mini ones. Is usually pretty good. But it kind of depends on the style and the format that you're using. So I generally am a honeycomb girly, where they're straight lines, basically imagine 5 dots, and then in between is the next row. So they're all lined up and nice and uniform. But if you were going to use the scatter method, where you're just placing stones, those are generally going to use more stones. Yeah, 1440 is the number. 10 gross. Yes. Thank you, Megan. It's usually 1,400 stones. But it also depends if you're going to do the honeycomb method or the scatter method, or if you're using multiple colors. But I would say if you're just starting, and you're going to do a 20-ounce cup, you'll use 2 or 3 bags of stones. You could probably follow Crystal Ninja, or even Jessica Flynn sells rhinestones. That might be something she has on her channel. She's got videos for everything. So there might be some people who've already done that math. Well, a mouse pad handy, you can use the back as a makeshift tray. I don't have a mouse pad handy, but you know what I do have? I'll be right back. I don't have a mouse pad, but I have a little oven mitt that I sublimated and messed up. That's why it's in my kitchen, that I'm going to use. Thanks, Megan. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's so fun. So smart. So smart. Now I'll try to get these all on the mouse pad. Or not the mouse pad, the oven mitt. I don't think I have a mouse pad in my entire house, now that I think about it. I don't even think I own one in this house anymore. Okay. Where am I at? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 black ones to do. And then we can fill it. I'll probably do, the only problem now, Megan, with this tip is that my oven mitt is black and my rhinestones are black. So that's my only challenge now. I'm in my dining room and there's one crappy light. Some people wear I wear. Magnifying glasses that have a light on them to make it a little bit easier to see, because sometimes it is hard to see, or if you're like, I want to rhinestone while I watch a movie, but you don't want the lights on so you can see your TV, you could get like a little lamp or something like that. Alrighty, let me know in the chat, you guys, what you've been working on lately. I haven't been making all that much, honestly, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I got an Xtool, so I got two kind of bigger scale machines, if you will, in the past year. The first being my direct-to-film printer, which allows me to make transfers for shirts. And I've actually gotten, I don't do like all the time, but like I've been getting some orders for shirts. So I've been doing a little bit more apparel than I used to. One I did recently was for a kid's birthday party. Like the two kids are having a joint birthday party, so I made them like a Nerf, Operation Nerf Day. They're having a Nerf themed birthday party. I think a local like club at a school I'm gonna make like 20 shirts for them, which is kind of fun. I just gotta price that out. So I've been doing more apparel. I made a shirt like for my friend who was doing, this was a few months ago now, but they were doing a walk for a friend who has breast cancer, so I made her like a shirt to go with that day. A lot of just like themed shirts and just making some stuff for my kids. My older one wants a Taylor Swift shirt. I'm making some 100-day, like we're approaching the 100th day of school. So like my daughter is supposed to dress up like an old lady, but my sister's kids are supposed to wear a shirt that has like 100 items on it. So I'm making 2 shirts, one with like 100 sharks on it that says 100 days, and one that with 100 like Hot Wheel type cars for their 100-day shirt. So I've been making a lot of apparel, which is kind of fun, and it's easy and it doesn't take a lot of time, and I've been liking that. It's sort of, to me, like lower pressure, because I feel like it's harder to mess up. Whereas if I'm making a bunch of tumblers, like glitter tumblers, I feel like so many things can go wrong. You know what I mean? Like as long as I get the transfer like looking right and printed, like I'm gonna be able to press it on my shirt no problem. And the designing and the printing is like so easy that like it's just low pressure, you know what I mean? So I've been liking that. So, and I'm hoping to kind of add in some more apparel stuff. I don't make a lot of transfers for people, but I do have a few transfers to make for a friend who wants to make a couple shirts. Like they have a heat press and they use their Cricut for stuff, but they don't, you know, the nice thing about the direct-to-film printer is that you can do like a lot more, like layered colors without any extra effort, distressed looks, stuff like that. You can, you know, without having to cut and weed vinyl. So I make a few transfers for like a local friend here, but not like large scale transfers. The printer that I have isn't really set up for selling large scale transfers, although it might be something I look into eventually. Probably not. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of shirts. Let me see what you guys are doing. Sublimation tumblers. Oh yes, I love Sublimation. I've been making, so I did a craft show in December. I brought glitter tumblers and Sublimation tumblers, but honestly, the glitter tumblers that I brought were ones that I had already made, like, or that didn't sell last year. I just like brought them again. I didn't actually really make many new ones. I made a couple. So I mostly just made some Sublimation cups for the show and I loved it. I want to try to do a few more like photo ones, like people send pictures. I had quite a few orders for photo ornaments that I make. So that kept me pretty busy. I made several of those, like probably like 20, a handful of orders for like 20 total ornaments. Just sublimating on a round, like a round circle. I've been working on remembrance vases for folks who have lost a loved one. New techniques for storyboard and jumping into wood and glitter. Oh, I'm really curious, Megan. Megan, send me a picture of the remembrance vases that you're doing. That sounds so beautiful. That sounds awesome and so thoughtful. I would love to see those. Send me a pic. When painting cups using bright tone, do I have to put them on the turner or can I put them on the stand? Oh, you can put them on a stand. You just have to be careful. Bright tone is really thin. So if you're putting it on a stand and you're finding like you're getting, I'm struggling. I'm gonna switch. I have a different like knockoff version of the Crystal Katana and I feel like I need to like melt this wax a little and I'm just not gonna do that right now. So we're gonna just switch. We're getting there, people. See, slowly but surely. So anyway, yes, you can put it on a stand. If you're getting it like it's pooling at the bottom or you're getting like drips, then you're putting it on too thick. I recommend having a turner because I feel like it's easier for it to level out and you have a little bit more wiggle room with the amount that you can put on there. Like it's a little bit more like forgiving. So I recommend, you don't have to have a turner, but then you have to be careful on the amount of paint, the amount of bright tone that you're using, because if you're using too much, it's gonna give you drips or like pooling around the bottom. That a lot of that is kind of avoided if you use a turner. So it helps to have a turner in my opinion. But you can totally make it work. You just gotta sort of work on the amount of bright tone that you're using. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so aside from the direct-to-film printer that I got, and if you're interested in doing apparel or thinking about that, I have a lot of videos on my channel with my printer and setting it up and all that stuff. I really like it. I've been very happy with it. It's working well. And I've been doing that quite a bit. And then the other machine that I got was my Xtool M1, which is super fun. It's a laser cutter. It's a diode laser, but it's like a desktop laser. It's small. I have a video, like a setup video. I have a few videos I still need to post about it. I just haven't gotten those done yet. We've had quite the January. We've been sick, snow days, cold days. It's been quite the month here in the Chicago area. And I know other places are feeling that too, like Michigan and Wisconsin and even some Southern Illinois people had some school closures, I think last week maybe, but so yeah, the weather, it's just been throwing us for a loop. But either way, I've been working with my Xtool M1 and I am obsessed with it. So that is a laser cutter. I can cut wood. I've been engraving like pencils. Oh, I don't have any over here, but unless, I'm weirdly looking on the floor because my kids might have dropped their pencil that I engraved on the floor. I don't see any in my direct vicinity, but I've been engraving like the Ticonderoga pencils. I've made a few things like holiday-wise. I've made a few signs. I made a really cute home sign that I barely took any pictures of because I was like finishing it like on Christmas Eve, which is just so me. But hopefully I gave one to my mother-in-law and one to my husband's grandmother. So hopefully I can get them to take some pictures for me. But I like made a frame. and like a wood home sign with the letters H, M, and E that I painted black. And then I made like little interchangeable O's. So I had like a Christmas tree and a pumpkin and an American flag. So like different seasons, you can swap out that O. Hopefully I can share that video and get some final photos because I never did. That was really fun. I've been just kind of like playing around and learning how to use that, but I'm like super excited to use it more. I'm hoping to run like a painting class, like a home sign class would kind of be fun. I don't know what it's going to look like, but my kid goes to preschool and they do like mom's nights out kind of like events. And I was hoping to do kind of like a wood sign, wood thing situation. I don't know exactly what, where I would like laser cut the materials and bring the paint and just, we would have like kind of like a paint and sip, if you will, or just a painting night. So that kind of brings me to what I've been focusing on and what I want to continue to focus on. So some of you on this live right now, or some of you who are going to watch the replay, have been with me like literally since the beginning, since I posted my really, really bad first few videos on YouTube back in 2019. We've been going at this for like almost 5 years, and it has been quite the journey. So it really all started when I was learning how to make tumblers and things with CrystaLac, Bright Tone, and moving to go epoxy free. There was really, when I first started, it was brand new in the tumbler world. Nobody was really using it yet. A few people were, but there were nobody teaching it. Nobody like putting up videos or anything like that. And I started making videos only because I was like, oh, like I'll just film it. And then the only way I have to share it with a few people is like via a YouTube video. Never like, I'm going to start a YouTube video. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to run this whole business and it's going to be this whole thing, right? That literally never crossed my mind. Eventually my husband was like, well, you know, you're like a YouTuber now. I was like, what are you talking about? And so it sort of just happened, right? With that being said, I have until like this past year, never took a break from uploading YouTube videos. I've literally posted like 1 to 2 per week since I started my channel, and until like the last couple of months, I really never took a break. And it's been fun. I love it. I love creating. I love teaching. You guys also know I was a teacher. Teaching is like my passion, but I need a break from YouTube. I need a break. I need to just like allow my brain to sort of turn off with it, because it's always something on my mind. It's always like I have to film. Anytime I'm making anything, I have to set up my camera and then I have to edit those videos, and I can't just create like for fun anymore. And these last couple months have really kind of made me think about that, and how, you know, creating for YouTube has taken a lot of the joy out of just spontaneously making something, because it's always about what YouTube video can I make? I got to make sure I film this. I got to make sure I get all these angles. I got to do the voiceovers. I got to do all of those things. And it's just been a little bit honestly draining. And while I love it, it's just mentally kind of tiring, especially at a time in my life where I have young kids that I have to be responsible for, and getting them where they need to be, and school and activities, and just like carrying the mental load of being the parent and the primary parent to do all that stuff. So it's just been a little bit of a transition for me to kind of take a step back, and it is something I'm going to continue. So I'm live here now. I actually do miss going live. So after I take a little bit of an official break, that's like why my the title says I'm taking a sabbatical. Like, I'm gonna take a very long extended break from posting tutorials on YouTube. I have a few that I gotta get up in the next like week, but then after that, I'm not posting any videos. I'm around, like I'm still on my phone all the time. Like I'm not gonna be posting really on Instagram or TikTok, which I haven't posted in, I don't know, God knows how long. I'm around, so if you ever have questions or you want to message me, I would love to chat, but I'm just going to take a little bit of a break from the filming aspect, the teaching aspect, and just kind of focus on creating things that I want to create and doing a little bit more of my in-person business and sales. I make a lot of things like locally, like people order things. I want to do something like teach a class in person or do like a birthday party or not, like, or maybe not, I don't know. But just kind of take some time to get offline and more in person, both with creating, with that aspect of my business and just learning how to do new things. So making some stuff with my Xtool, continuing doing apparel, and just kind of building my in-person network to make sales. Because it's hard to do both. It's hard to be like online all the time and running this aspect of the business and trying to grow my in-person sales and be just like doing everything else. I have a part-time job. I work 2 days a week at the office, and that's been so nice to just focus on that and not be at home all the time. So anyway, just so you know, if you're like, I haven't seen her in a while, it's because I am taking a break from the channel and just posting here on YouTube. But I'm always here. Like, I'm here. I'm on my phone. I check my messages. You can always message me or email me, and we can still stay connected. But I am going to kind of cut back and take a bit of a sabbatical of YouTube. So hopefully you guys understand. Hello, I think it's Zeal from Australia. I'm glad you're here. I'm just talking about how I'm going to be taking a break from making YouTube videos while I rhinestone this mug that I started like 2 years ago. I'm just finishing up the leopard spots, and then I'm going to start putting some rhinestones on my Stanley. So I'm going to do like maybe one more of these, and then I'm gonna move on to the Stanley. I think I'll let this dry like overnight before I go into doing the blue. I want the black leopard spots to fully dry before I start moving in with the blue, so then they don't move anywhere, like they're just like stuck, you know what I mean? But while I've been talking, I feel like I haven't been rhinestoning very efficiently. So when I say it's going to take me a while to do this, it's probably would take you less time because you're not going to be talking to a camera. And there's just like a few other things I want to take the time to do. Like I want to learn how to paint on my iPad, learn how to or paint in real life, and just not worry about how to turn it into a tutorial or how to put it on my channel. And I just even if I say I don't have to, it's something that's always taking up space in my brain, and I'm just getting to a point in my life that I feel like I can't segment my thoughts in my brain into 17 different things. I just have to focus on being a parent, right? My kids, I can't be dropping the ball on certain days at school. That takes all my energy. And then I have a part-time job so that I love, and I want to make sure I continue to do a good job there. So that's another piece. I've got my partner, my everything. I want to start taking more care of myself via, just healthy habits and just all of those things. It all takes a toll especially me being like a neurodivergent person, with the anxiety, depression, ADHD that I've been very open about for all these years. Like, I just have to recognize that right now in this season, I have to take that sabbatical. I have to just take a break, and that's okay. And I hopefully, if and when I return from said sabbatical, you guys will still be here. But like I said, it's not like I'm like going off the grid. I still hang out online. I'm just not going to be posting online. So if you ever need anything or have any questions or just want to chat, I would love to hear from you on Instagram. Just message me. I'm always around. It's just something I have to do to take care of myself. And I feel like really, I don't know how other people are, but I feel like this, this business, this channel serves such a great purpose, like during COVID and post-COVID. But now I'm just really wanting to focus on some of those in real life scenarios and situations and obligations that weren't quite in the forefront during all of this in the past few years. So now I just feel like things have changed a little bit. I've changed a little bit as I get older. I just have to do things a little bit differently. So that's just kind of where I am. I finally got here. Hi, Georgia. It's so good to see you. And Jenna, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, the replay will be available as soon as we're done. I was talking a lot about rhinestoning at the beginning and the supplies and the tools and all the things, and then I just kind of talked about how I'm taking a little sabbatical, if you will. I don't want to say, I said, am I retiring? Am I retiring? And then I was like, no, I don't want it to be like I'm never coming back. I just want to take an official break where I'm really not even like, it's not taking up space in my mind. Like every time I've taken even just a couple weeks off of posting on YouTube, it's always like, okay, well, I still have to plan the videos for when I come back. Or every time I'm making something, I'm thinking about how I'm gonna make this into a YouTube video. How's this gonna grow my channel? It's sucking all the fun out of the creation process, as well as I just have to like take a break for myself. Thank you, Eileen. Oh, you guys literally have just been amazing, amazing humans. Like this whole past 4 years, really, 4.5, I've learned so much about, creating content, being on YouTube, all of those things. I've connected with a lot of people as well. And so many people are like, oh, I keep getting these mean comments. All these people, blah, blah, blah. Like 99.9% of my time in existence, like doing this has been a positive experience. And then it's really you all that have created that like everybody's so nice and kind. And it's like, I'm not always the best at like responding to comments and doing that, but I think about them all the time. And I think about all the people, like I see your names here, like Eileen and Jenna and Georgia, you guys have been here for a while. And I just like, it's like I know you, I don't know you, but it's kind of like I do. And I'm so thankful for how kind everybody has been. And also you continue to be in this time for me where I'm going to be a little, I'm taking this sabbatical, and I appreciate your understanding. So that's where I'm at. That's why I don't know what's going to come after. I don't know what it's going to look like. I really don't. All I know is that I'm taking a break. So I won't be posting anything, but of course you can go back and watch all those. I've got like hundreds of tutorials. I'm going to still be like making stuff. I'm just going to be doing it offline. So if you ever want to chat, like just message me if you're like, I'm trying to figure this out. Have you seen this? Are you doing this? Like there's a chance I'll be making that sort of stuff, just like not posting about it. So I would love to still stay connected and just chat with you guys. But how about we put some rhinestones? I'm gonna be on probably for like 15 more minutes, but I'm gonna start putting some rhinestones on this Stanley. I did sand it down with some 220 grit, like one of the sanding blocks from the CrystaLac Company. I sanded it down and kind of wiped it clean. I'm gonna use these 5mm SS20 stones to do it. These are bigger. Bigger stones means less stones. Okay, that's why I'm choosing it. You might like visually like a smaller stone, so you might choose that. But for me, with this big 40-ounce cup, I'm like, I can't. We're doing the biggest stone possible. And I'm gonna do the honeycomb method. I have like a random, like transparent, okay, the Stanley logo is really small, like to get all those details in there. So I need like a really small stone to do it. So I think these are transparent. It's just like a random mix like that I got on Amazon a gazillion years ago. And they've just been hanging out in here. So I'm gonna use those on the logo, I think. Or I don't know if I have, let me see. So some stones are transparent and some have a silver backing. Ooh, these might be better. So these are like a clear, like, I want to say white. They're a clear stone, but they have a silver backing. Sometimes you have clear stones that don't have the backing, so like you can see through it. It's like more iridescent, right? You can like see the color behind it. But because it's got that black base, I've got so many pretty colors in here. I really need to I'm gonna rhinestone all the things while I'm watching TV. So I actually might use this, but I don't have any scissors. Anyway, I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 rows of the black before I even bother. And I don't have any smaller black ones, so I'm gonna have to buy some anyway to kind of fill in. If I do like a silver or a white or a whatever on the Stanley logo, I have to fill in, you know, with smaller black stones. So I'm gonna have to buy those anyway. So this is gonna be like a labor of love. And honestly, I might just go all around and just kind of like leave the logo, like get kind of in as close as I can. And then I'll order stuff and like hope for the best. Like by the time it arrives or I decide what I want to do, it'll be here. So I'm going to, I'm going to start kind of close to the handle. I'm not going to take the handle off. Like with glitter you might, but like this, I wouldn't get the handle back on if I put the rhinestones on there. So I'm just going to get these close to the handle. And what the cool thing is when you're doing a rhinestone, especially like a cup, that first layer that you do is like your most important. Because if you have a crooked first row, the whole thing is gonna be crooked. So take extra time and care in making that first row that you do the best row, because it sets the tone for the others. Okay, so you can see it kind of right here. It's kind of got that like multicolor situation. It looks really cool. It's not just like a plain black. It's kind of giving me like, I'm seeing blue and purple, so it's kind of like a mermaid vibe in my opinion. So I'm just gonna make these as straight as I can. This is gonna take me so long. Georgia says I will. Okay, I'll post this when I finally finish this. I will post, so you guys can see. Today is the 29th. I bet it takes me an entire month to do this. Georgia says I'm so proud of you. Life is way too short to. Yes, and a health scare. Yes, like I gotta take care of myself. I gotta do what I need to do. And as hard as it is, like, to be like, you know what, I'm taking time away from this business that I've worked so hard to build. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to do, it's okay. So anyway, the first row is the most important. And what I like about the Stanley is it has this lip in a straight line. So it's a little bit easier. When I did this one, I started on this top row and then I put it on a flat surface and I kind of pushed down all of the stones so they were like straight around the top. So that's what I do. You guys can go back and look at that, you know, tutorial. I have a few tumbler tutorials, rhinestone tumbler tutorials on my channel. I have a pen. I did a pop socket once. I think that might be it. But I'm like excited about doing this Stanley because I definitely don't need to like buy another cup. Like, gosh, we all know that. So this is kind of giving it a fun little facelift. In the meantime, I'm really liking these stones. These stones are from Glitzy Creations, and Quita over at Glitzy Creations is just an amazing human being. So if you need rhinestone stuff, definitely check her out. There's a lot of different places you can get rhinestone stuff. I have had luck on Amazon. You know, not everything turns out, especially with supplies and stuff on Amazon, but I have had luck with rhinestone stuff specifically. Another popular, Jessica Flynn sells rhinestones. She has a lot of like mixed packs, like different colors that would like a collection of different things. I don't have one of hers, but here's like an example from somebody else. This is from Creepsakes. I don't know if she sells these anymore, but like just different sizes and different colors. So she has a lot of those. I don't love those personally for me, like those packs, because okay, if I'm being honest, I don't like the look when there's always like a big like pearl size looking one. And for some reason, I cannot visually do it. And it's not that like the people who make it or sell it, like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just for me personally, I don't love those because there's always like a few stones that are just too big. Like I like them smaller or more uniform, and that's just my personal style. So I don't tend to buy those, but they have them. And then another company that's really popular is Diamond Fire Rhinestones. I have a tutorial. Actually, I don't think it's a tutorial. I think it's a live stream where I used a template, oh geez, for a pen that one of my followers, her Etsy store and her Instagram is called Desert Galaxy Designs. She makes amazing rhinestone things, and she has a few templates. So you can buy like patterns, and you just follow it. Like you don't like print it out and put it on your cup or anything like that, but you just kind of like look at it on your computer and follow the pattern. And it's a really cool way to add a little bit to your work. So like she has a few cute ones, and then she has like, you know, just like different patterns, chevron, stuff like that. But also like she has these really cute flower ones and these super cute mushroom ones. And I think I want to do one of those, but those are like pens, little patterns. So that's Desert Galaxy Designs. Highly recommend. She just has been posting some cups that are just absolutely gorgeous. But I have a video using one of her templates. So that's another thing you could do, is try to use a template. If you know, the templates give you like a guide of like how many, you know, you're gonna do like red, blue, red, 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 blue, blue, red, red, red for the first row. And then like it goes row by row, color by color to create those cool patterns. So those are pretty fun too. And kind of takes the guesswork out of like, how can I do something that's just not like a single color, but I don't have to like do the math or figure out the actual pattern like other people are doing that. So highly recommend trying those out if you wanted to like add in different ways to rhinestone. Those are fun. I think that's just a live stream that I did that. I used like neon colors. I don't know if any of you guys were there. I used these like really fun neons from Glitzy Creations. I gave that pen to my friend. She still uses this on her desk at work. It's so fun. You could also like, I know maybe it was Karen who was doing sublimation. This is actually something I haven't done, but you could sublimate a tumbler and then like put clear stones over that so it gives it a little bit of texture. Or use like, kind of create a pattern with a sublimation design and then put colors over it just to kind of guide you. Oh, Megan says there are a lot of folks also UV printing with clear backgrounds, full tumbler wraps of patterns. Okay, I don't know if that's exactly what I was just saying, but somehow creating like, whether it's sublimation or just UV printing right on the cup, like that could be a fun guide. So if you do sublimation, which I know some of you on this live stream currently do, you could sublimate a fun design and either go over with different colors or even just use clear so you can see the design through, but it has that texture of it being a rhinestone cup. You know what I mean? So you can kind of do it both ways. So here's my first row. I'm not even done with it. I'm still trying to like get it. I actually feel like this line is a good guide, but I kind of feel like having it on a tumbler is easier. Like on the very top lip of the tumbler. Cause I'm like trying to get this all leveled out. People sell like different contraptions too, like 3D printed things that you would like wrap around your cup. Like you could like wrap it around and then level it out. There's like all sorts of really cool tools out there. I am just gonna do my best. Just gonna hope for the best in this situation. But there are, if you're like getting really into rhinestoning stuff, there's like a lot of really cool tools you can use and sorting options and leveling and all sorts of cool things. But I like it because it doesn't take a lot of skill to get started. Obviously, like you get better with practice. Like I'm not the best at rhinestoning because I don't do it all that often, but like I still feel like I could do this and it'll look good and it's still impressive to look at and visually pleasing and people think it's cool, stuff like that. So there's not like a big barrier to entry. And then it's kind of relaxing. Like as I'm doing it, I don't have to like think all that much. Like it's just like almost like a brain break for me. But I'm like busy, you know, because you're like actually placing each one of these stones. So I got to figure out how I'm actually going to get this done. Maybe because now this is my only Stanley. So if I'm making this, I can't really use it to drink out of. So I do kind of have to move a little quickly in getting this done. So maybe I'll try to do like a few rows a day. Maybe that'll be my goal. Like 3 rows a day. Like bling for like, I don't know, 30 minutes a day. And hope you could get this done. When I'll never forget, my first like full rhinestone cup it has my name on it. It's like one of my most popular YouTube videos on this channel to this day. Is just like a clear rhinestone honeycomb. It has my name on it. What I did was when I started, my daughter's almost 5 now. She was a baby. When I was doing that video, and she would wake up like every morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and she would go back to sleep, which is lovely. But I would not go back to sleep. It got to the point where I was like, oh, now by the time, you wake up, you get your baby back to sleep, it was like 4:30, 4:45, and it was like, well, I can't really go back to sleep because my other kid's gonna wake up, at 6:15. So I would just go down to the kitchen, sit at the table, and rhinestone. And it was like a nice little like quiet time treat for myself. And I got it done. So that's what I remember. I remember rhinestoning at 4 o'clock in the morning to get it done. I won't be doing that now because my kids don't wake up that early anymore. They mostly sleep through the night. Okay, so I finished my first row. So here you can see, if I had like smaller, I don't know if I will, probably not, but like if I had a smaller stone, I could get a little closer here, but I don't really care. And then I'm just doing my best to keep this as straight as possible. There are like a few that I need to kind of push down, but it is starting to dry. So it's kind of, gonna be, it is what it is. But I always do my first row, let it dry completely. Like I'm not gonna touch it till tomorrow. So my 3 rows a day is gonna start tomorrow, or maybe even tonight. But I just wanna make sure this has plenty of time to fully dry and cure up, because if you start putting in your second row, you're gonna be like nudging the first row that you put there. So I always do my first row, let it dry completely, and then when it's fully dry and you start going in with your second row, you can really like push your stones up to that top row, get the second row nice and straight. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm really glad you guys hung out with me today. I'm gonna have to hop off here to pick up my daughter from preschool soon, but we worked on finishing this tumbler. I only have, what does it look like? These last 3 to do black, and then I just have to fill in all the blue. So hopefully I'll get that done. I do have a full tutorial on this tumbler. I just only showed half. I just never finished the back because that's where we were. So there is a full tutorial on how I did this, how I prepped it, painted it, cut the vinyl, all of that, and details on the stones. And then we started with our Stanley, which I'm super excited about. I'm loving this color, this mermaid vibe a little bit, giving my Stanley a little bit of a facelift so I don't have to buy a new one. And I also talked about my sabbatical that I'm taking. So if you hopped on late, check out that replay. It's been really, really nice sitting here with you and chatting with you and catching up. I'm so thankful for all of you who have been here today and just over the last few years with me. And like I said, I'm taking a sabbatical from posting on YouTube and posting, a lot on Instagram. I'm sure I'll still be there and post every once in a while, but it's not like it's not going to be much. But I'm there. So if you want to connect, if you want to chat, if you just want to catch up, message me. I'm here. And I wish you all the very best. And when eventually I find my way back here, I hope you will join me then too. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon.